Now, along with the Golden Quadrilateral, there were 3 more schemes which were parallel verticals and were complementary and supplementary to this scheme. The first one, which the Atal Bihari Vajpayee government, the NDA government mooted, was the National Highway Development Project. Now remain there. If we were to look at, as we said, from Srinagar to Kanyakumari, from West Bengal to Porbandar, and the east-west corridor from Gujarat into Assam. Along with this Golden Quadrilateral would be centers which will be national highways connected to each other. So for example, if a person from Srinagar would want to go into West Bengal, all that the person had to do was pick up the national highway from somewhere near Jammu and would directly come somewhere near Panagarh near Kolkata. Similarly, from Kolkata going downwards towards the south, the person had to just pick up a national highway from here and may land up somewhere near Chennai. Similarly, in other parts of the country, Gujarat onwards to Delhi, Gurgaon and back to Srinagar. Now you can ask me that what's the big deal about making a national highway? The big deal about making a national highway is creating verticals of connectivity where waterways, roadways and connectivity between the east-west and the north-south corridor happens at the same time. So, for example, again if I am a farmer and I need to take produce which may be 1000 or 2000 kilometers, I have a choice. I can do it by a port, I can do it by road, and I can actually within the same stretch of land which is stretching from my own state to another, just go and take my produce there and get through with the day. Another very important thing, roads when made can only lead to progression and development of its people. We all need roads. We all need roads. Whether we are going into a school or we are going into a college, whether we are farmers who are taking a produce somewhere or whether we are just doing connectivity from one town to another. So let me remind you, along with the Golden Quadrilateral, this whole scheme was mooted by the NDA government and it was actually a brilliant connectivity which nobody had thought of. Probably in the 16th century, Sher Shah Suri thought of it. And so many hundreds of years later, it was the NDA which brought back this scheme into the foreground of governance, in the foreground of ruling this country. Now, along with these 2 very important schemes was the Sagar Mala project, which was the port connectivity. It meant a chain of ports all around India. We all know that we are a part of the Indian Peninsula. This is the Indian Peninsula. We are a part of the Indian Ocean, the Arabian Sea on one side and the Indian Ocean on another. That means there are ports, whether they are in Gujarat, whether they are in Maharashtra, whether they are down south, whether going up towards West Bengal. There has been total connectivity of ports. There should have been connectivity of ports, but sadly, so many years down the line, it did not happen. So, a chain of ports around India would actually help raise its share in global trade from 0.67% to 1%. So if actually the ports were connected the way the NDA government had proposed by 2007, we would have been contributing almost more than 1% of the trade. India would have helped raise its share. And this actually in real terms would have meant this was equivalent to 1,80,000 crores of earnings coming into the country. This would have equaled a ratio which nobody could have ever envisaged. So now we are looking at 3 levels of connectivity. One was the road, one was the east-west, north-south corridor, and one was the Sagar Mala project. Now all these schemes, you know that these schemes to take centerfold, to actually get implemented would have taken a larger number of years. Unfortunately, after 2004, they probably went into some government dustbins and some of the projects which are still lying halfway through, which are still half complete, are waiting for completion to happen somewhere in the country. What about rural India? Now, apart from the connectivity of the golden quadrilateral and the ports and the highways, just connecting cities, one city to another, would not have been possible if there were no rural roads. Each village sector unit of the country required roads so that the rural road could connect to the national highway. Now you would say, you've got good highways, you've got good ports. What is this Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana? Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana was basically the basic pivot of this whole scheme. Each village would have had connectivity to each other. For example, if 3 villages are submerging towards one national highway, and if the condition of roads of the villages itself is bad or it is improper, then how would the farmer who's trying to reach the national highway, how would he get there? So it was the basic pivot of this scheme. Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana was the rural road development scheme. That means empower the villages, create parallel connectivity of villages to each other and to the national highways, and from the national highways we've already described in detail, so on and so forth would happen. But again, coming back to the truth of the present day scenario, the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana is also another scheme which some 4-5 years ago the government did pretend to take over, but yet there are so many rural roads which are just waiting completion. So what is the holistic picture? What is the vision of Advani ji towards this country? Very simple, it is a 3-pronged formula. It is the Pradhan Mantri Gramin Sadak Yojana, translating and connecting the National Highway project, which finally connects to the Sagarmala project. That is the rural, the urban, semi-urban connectivity and the port connectivity. So the country is like a mesh, it's a network of connectivity which is happening with each other. The villages are connected to the highways are connected all across the country, and the ports are connected to each other. So trade and commerce can happen as freely as possible, which is the basic right of every citizen in a democracy. Now going forward, as we had already spoken about, this empowering weapon in our hands, the NDA during its rule had already decided that IT would be one of its main focal points for governance. Now what is the IT vision? What is Mr. Advani's vision as far as the IT of the country is concerned? So the recently unveiled IT vision for India that Mr. Advani has is 1.2 crore new IT enabled jobs in rural areas, 1 crore students to get laptop computers at 10,000 rupees, not 40,000 rupees, not 50,000 rupees, but basic fee of 10,000 rupees, and interest free loans for anybody who is unable to afford it. That means the disabled sections of the society also get a big connect. Children who are not able to also buy laptops and who wish to study further can get empowered by that. All schools and colleges to have internet enabled education. All schools and colleges will have facilities where internet becomes e-education, e-learning becomes a big part of their lives.